Hi, I'm Walt Hitch. I'm the director of the University of Tennessee's Plateau Research and Education Center here in Crossville, Tennessee, and doing a series of research highlights here at the Research Center. And today we have Emma Hessock, and she's in a unique program through the Animal Science Department called a 4+1. So she's finishing both her bachelor's degree and starting her master's degree. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Emma Hessock. I'm a senior at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. I am completing my 4+1 program, as Walt said, with Dr. Mori in her lab. My research specifically looks at how Fescue toxicosis affects reproduction in cattle.
Would you care to explain fescue toxicosis and the effect it has on cattle?
Fescue toxicosis is an illness caused by endophyte-infested tall fescue. Tall fescue is a prominent and hardy forage found throughout the United States and is a common forage used in beef production. Issues arise with tall fescue when the grass becomes infested with a fungal endophyte, which acts to protect the grass from environmental stressors as well as grazing animals such as cattle. Major health issues associated with this are decreased body weight gains and decreased fertility rates. Other symptoms associated with this illness are increased respiratory rates and rectal temperatures, poor growth, decreased appetite, inability to shed their coat fully, and reduced calving rates. It is estimated that fescue toxicosis costs the beef industry between $500 million and $1 billion annually.
Well, that's a lot of money annually. So what specifically are you studying in fescue toxicosis in the beef cattle?
Previous studies have shown that oocytes collected from cows affected with fescue toxicosis are of lower quality. My research will specifically look at the difference in gene expression in oocytes collected from fescue toxicosis affected cattle versus those that are not affected. My study will be conducted at the Middle Tennessee AgResearch Education Center, while half of our cows will be fed a diet that includes fescue seeds, which will induce the fescue toxicosis, and the other half will be given the same diet, just not the fescue seeds, in order not to induce fescue toxicosis. We will then take temperature and blood samples in order to ensure that fescue toxicosis is being induced in those that it is supposed to. After this, we will use an estrus synchronization protocol in order to ensure that we collect the oocytes from the cows around ovulation. The oocytes will then be frozen and taken back to the lab, where we will extract RNA from them and we will send it off to be sequenced. Once this is done, we will then compare the RNA found in the oocytes from fescue toxicosis affected cows versus those that are not affected.
So you mentioned RNA. Tell us exactly what RNA is.
Yeah, so to put it simply at first, DNA makes RNA, which then makes proteins. And proteins are very important because they are used in cellular processes such as signaling and structure. And so when a protein is needed to be made for cells, it signals the protein's genetic code, which makes up part of the DNA. Once this is done, RNA takes the role of a messenger and takes this genetic code to then be translated into the physical protein that is needed. Thus, RNA plays a vital role in cellular processes in the body.
Since we now know that RNA plays such an important role, why is it that you're measuring that?
So we will be measuring and sequencing the RNA from oocytes affected with fescue toxicosis and those that are not, in order to see if there is a difference between the active genes in them. This will allow us to better understand if there are important genes that are either less or more active within the fescue toxicosis affected oocytes, which could then tell us why these oocytes are of lower quality. This information will one day help us to be able to reduce the negative impacts of fescue toxicosis on the oocyte.
Thanks, Emma, and we wish you the best of luck in your program and finishing up your bachelor's degree and working on your master's degree. We're thankful for Dr. Mori and the Animal Science Department for their efforts that go on here at the Plateau AgResearch Center, and we just thank you all for joining with us for another research highlight, and have a good day.
Thank you.